Hey guys, what's up? The Monday edition is on the air. Nick and Steph show. Stephen Martinez, Nicholas Gambaro. We hope you guys had a great weekend. We have a lot to get into. Crazy story in soccer, which we're actually starting the show with today. This has very deep emotional ties to Big Dog. He's a huge soccer fan, and I find fascinating the business element of all of this. So I'm figuring, you know what? Let's do it. Let's jump right in. Big Dog, first off, before we get started, how are you, man? I know this is last couple of tough days for you, or tough last, 20 to 21 hours. So I just wanted to check in and see how you were, man, because I know soccer's a really big sport for you, and to see where it could be headed is some really hard stuff for you to take as a fan. So I just want to check in, and I want our audience to make sure that they understand that this is going to be a different show. We're going to hit on some very emotional topics for him, for me, and so you're going to see a lot of emotional, you know, feelings tonight. So I just wanted to get that out and early. Big Dog, how are you doing, man?
Um, to be honest, emotional, confused, overwhelmed. Um,
Right.
just trying to really follow all this news as it keeps breaking. And it started, as you mentioned, from yesterday, late yesterday, because again, the time difference between us and Europe. Um, but the idea of this, and we're gonna break it down, and we're each gonna give our 2 cents about it. But you're right, it is emotional, and it's not hyperbole. It has been said by pundits in England and other former players that football, as they call it, or soccer as we call it here, might be dead. Soccer as we knew it might be dying out. And so let's jump right into it. 12 clubs in Europe want to break away from their respective leagues and form a super league. So as basically established by 12 European clubs, 6 from the Premier League, which is Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City, Man United, and Tottenham. 3 from Italy, Inter Milan, AC Milan, Juventus, and 3 from Spain, Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid, and Barcelona. So they want to form their own league, separate from their domestic leagues. Founding clubs will share initial payment of approximately $4.2 billion to support infrastructure investment plans and to offset impact of COVID-19, intended to begin as soon as practicable. So the final format, it needs 20 teams. So 20 participating clubs, 15 founding clubs, and 5 annual qualifying clubs. So here we go. Starts in August every year, like every other European league. Midweek fixtures or midweek games. So no weekend matches. 2 groups of 10 teams. 8 teams qualify to knockout rounds. So it's essentially a mini tournament, I guess you can say. And it is quite confusing, even for me. And I follow this stuff. As Stefan said, I've been a soccer fan for years now, and even me, I was, a lot of looking up, Googling, reading. I was on YouTube late last night watching clips. After work today, I was watching like Sky News and the coverage in the UK and what they were discussing. And really, to break it down, this is definitely, it's all about greed and it's all about money. And you looked at the title, it's really all about the business for these the 12 founding members. All the owners, they want to benefit financially, and it seems to be they don't really care about wow, the fan side of it. They don't care. It's even hard to say, and they don't care about the fan side of it or the player side. They just want to benefit them. And including on Sky Sports today, a reporter for them spoke to an executive of one of these clubs. Of course, didn't say who it was, couldn't tell the public who it was. But the executive said, basically, I'm paraphrasing, but all the fan aspect and everything that lies in that category is all secondary. We just want to benefit financially. They just completely said it outright. And it's getting a ton of backlash. And I just want to go through some things, if you'll let me, Stefan, things I found on social media. So today, before the Leeds United-Liverpool game, both teams wore shirts that said, quote, "Earn it, football is for the fans." Outside of the Emirates Stadium today, Arsenal fans, a sign that says, "Give us our Arsenal back. Shame on you, AFC. Rest in peace, Arsenal. Hashtag Kroenke out," which I'm going to get into that in a few minutes because there's actually an American sports aspect of this as well. Outside Old Trafford today, which is Man United Stadium, created by the poor, stolen by the rich. So there was a lot of that sentiment today, especially around England with the Premier League clubs. And these are their own fans. They don't want this. They want to keep the Premier League and English soccer, that pyramid of the Premier League, League One, League Two, and so on, to remain. They want that tradition, the rivalries to stay the same. And the Premier League really, and I said it, is the most competitive league. And now you're kind of going to take away from, like the top four race, or maybe those upsets every now and then where like a West Ham might beat a Manchester United, or a lower team in the Premier League could beat a Liverpool or tie with Liverpool. And I know a lot of Americans are like, oh, ties are, but that's almost like a win in European soccer. If a lower seeded team at least draws with a top seeded team, it's like a win if they tie. Go ahead.
I got to get some stuff out. And I see you going through all this, and I appreciate you giving us all the context that it goes into all of this, but I have some questions to ask, and I got to get some stuff out. Okay, let me start off by saying I'm the guy on this show that says this all the time, and I don't mean to be that guy, and Big Dog can tell you I don't mean to be that guy, but for this argument in this instance, I'm going to be that guy. Sports was always a business and will always be a business. And this right here, what he's reading and what he's telling you and how they plan on going about it just proves the point to me that sports is a business and it always will be, no matter how much we try to make it about the fans, no matter how much influence the fans may have. And it feels like in soccer they have more influence than they do in American sports. And I understand all of that. I understand protesting outside of the buildings, and maybe they get something done, and maybe this is all for naught. But the fact that this was even an idea to begin with, Nick, just shows me that even if this doesn't go through, if there's another attempt to screw the fans over, they're going to. And it doesn't matter whether or not we like it, whether or not you like it as a fan, whether it helps the humanity or hurts the humanity of the sport. The fact remains is that they can screw you over and they can make you feel like it's all about them. They're going to. And this is what it boils down to. It sucks to say that. It sucks to have that thought. It sucks to feel like you don't matter as a fan. But in this case, bro, this is what this feels like to me. And honestly, like Kayla said, we don't understand it. but maybe it's not meant for us to understand because they put it so eloquently on the podcast, the Caught Offside podcast, which I don't listen to, but I recommend that you do just because I want to give it some more context. It look, and Kayla, we're gonna get into all of that, I promise. But listen, this is gonna be a longer show than we usually do, guys. I'm sorry, there's too much stuff to talk about. This is gonna take a large portion of today's show. So if you guys can just bear with us for today and just let us get our thoughts out on this, because this is tough to process, not only for Big Dog, but for me as well, because there's so many tentacles that apply to this that is different, that affect other sports, and how other sports now may try to do something similar. We have to discuss this, folks. So just give us the time to get it out, and we promise we make it worth your while. But I'll just say this, and Big Dog, I'm going to let you go now, I promise. This, as a journalist, this makes me question how journalists in these other countries do their job. Because I understand what it means when you have to report something, you have to put your name on something, and you have to say, I heard this from this amount of people. And when you see it being reported as little drips and drabs, and nobody has a real concise idea of what's going on, not only on the soccer side, but also on the legal side, because you know there's going to be legal ramifications to everything that happens here. So let's just be prepared and say, you know what? Let me not even jump to the gun, because from what it looks like, yes, it looks like it's going to happen. This league is going to happen. But here's the thing that we need to talk about. If the UEFA is already sending sanctions, if this league doesn't go through, how do you turn back now and say, oh, we'll let you back in, when you tried to basically leave us and revolt against everything we're trying to stand for? How do I let you back in when you basically betrayed us for more money? Big Dog, am I wrong? Am I wrong in assuming that even if this doesn't go through, the ripple effects that this is going to have on the sport's never going to be the same again? Because I don't know how these teams automatically turn back now and go, okay, we want to be part of your league again. How do you do that? How?
It's going to be, I mean, here, UEFA president, a quote from him, Alexander Sefrin is his name. We didn't know we had snakes so close to us. Now we know. So he's already calling them snakes, being real sneaky about it. Which too was reported on Sky Sports as well, that the UEFA president was speaking to an executive of Juventus and Ed Woodward, who, go ahead.
I got some reporting on that. See, when you let me go 45 minutes ago, I decided to dig my tentacles in this area of the world. So the conference call that they had with each other was basically going to be how we're going about trying to get advertising ready for the next World Cup, and who was going to be the front and center of this, and how Juventus was going to drive a lot of the revenue sharing, and how they were going to be at the top of the food chain in terms of funneling it out to the people in not only in their league, but the entire branding structure in Italy. And they were almost on the verge of getting that completed, and then it all fell apart. And that's when the guy was like, oh, I'll call you back. He's been Big Dog. He's been ducking him for 4 days.
Yep.
4 days, I found out. Somebody texted me, yo, we've been trying to get this finished for 4 days. The guy's been ducking me for 4 days, trying to get something finished, trying to get something completed. How are we supposed to trust? How are we supposed to trust that you're doing the right thing for your constituents and you're not trying to screw us, and it's not all for your own personal political gain? That's a great point by Rick. It's not only business, but politics too. It's whose back can I scratch to make sure that I'm well taken care of, that my political, not only my financial interests, but my political interests are seen as, oh, we'll take care of you on the back end. Because this is what it all boils down to, folks. It's not only is it all, business and money, there's some political gamesmanship and maneuvering that's happening here that we're going to see start to play out. And you're going to have to, I'm telling you, big dog, I had somebody text me just a little while ago, and they say you're going to have to pick sides. This thing, you're going to have to pick sides. You can't straddle the fence on this. It's either you're with us or against us. Here's the thing, and here's the question that I want to ask. And so what happens if they get to 20 teams, right? Because it's a 20-team format, and they're doing what's called a closed circuit league where no other teams can join.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's how it was phrased to me when I did some digging on this. A closed circuit league. So if this is a closed circuit league, what if there's more than 20 teams that ultimately want to join and have the money to join? Do they open up the 20 envelope and say, hey, we'll push it to 25 because these teams
have money? They very well might.
Yeah, have the financial backing to be able to say we can swing it.
If they see the money, they might consider it, letting them in. But right now, it only seems right, like a 20-team closed-off league, no promotion, no relegation.
That's insanity.
Really, no competition.
And that's the other thing. How do you explain this to your fan base and say, how does this not get boring so quick? You're going to see the same 20 teams play each other over and over and over again. And even if one team or 5 teams end up making what they call the play-in round or something similar, akin to a play-in round, or 5 teams that are basically virtually on a bubble where they're not sure if they're going to make it, you can't switch out the 5 teams for new teams. So these 20 teams are going to be playing each other for what? For what? What are we playing for? And then it's true how PSG and how PSG and another Bayern Munich, if they're not a part of this league, then we're done. We're done. If they're
two of the biggest teams in Europe.
If those 2 clubs are not a part of this is all you're basically whistling in a graveyard. This is eventually going to die. This is going to die because if you don't have the 2 biggest clubs in that part of the world, what are we doing this for? What is the point of this? Can somebody please explain this to me? Big Dog, can you provide me with some context?
It's all about greed. For the deals like.
Well, all right, here's the thing, okay?
It's interesting. And they were already on calls about TV deals with other countries, including the United States. Now, we don't know who would broadcast the games yet, but they're already talking about it to companies. And also, too, I just wanted to point out, because you mentioned it before, and we'll kind of break it down, essentially, and what this even means for the United States. Because, we're not really so big on club soccer, per se, like the MLS. It's popular, but only really in pockets of the country.
Right. Yeah.
But the national team, whether it's the Women's or Men's World Cup, we have World Cup fever for a month every 4 years. But the sanctions are very important. UEFA President Alex Sefrin, quote, "We are all united against this nonsense of a project. The players that will play in the closed league, so meaning the Super League, if they play in it, they will be banned from playing in the World Cup Euros, meaning that they won't be able to play for their national teams. For the other 14 Premier League teams already are talking about wanting the 6 Premier League teams that are in the closed-off league to be sanctioned, including even this season. That's not done yet. It's almost done, but they want them kicked out. They want UEFA's considering tossing them, not letting them in the Champions League or their domestic leagues. Like, all right, you want to play in your closed-off league? That's fine. But you're not welcome back to your original domestic leagues.
Right.
Which are then going to hurt those leagues. Because even in our sports, you do need the teams with money because it does trickle down.
Right. Which is why they've done it in the NBA and they've done it in Major League Baseball, and they're even doing it somewhat in football, where you have basically what's called a trickle down effect, which is why they created revenue sharing. The whole revenue sharing aspect of this was created so that you can allow.
Oh, absolutely. And I'll break that down in a second. But go ahead, Stefan, with the revenue sharing, because it's a big part.
You can basically see what Major League Baseball did to the big teams like the Yankees and all these other clubs. Was like, no, you're gonna split revenue amongst all 32 teams, and it's not all money you can have.
Right, where these clubs. Yes, what's up, Zach?
Yes, we're gonna get to that at the end. I got a special tribute for the Boston marathon victims, and I wanted to touch on some stuff there. By the way, those
jerseys are cool.
Oh my god! And I'm not a fan of that color blue, but that's just beautiful. Just sexiness. And this is coming from somebody who just despises Boston. That is beautiful. I will probably wear that outside, and I'm not even kidding. And you know I'm serious.
Yeah.
No, you're right, Emilio.
It could.
No, but the revenue sharing is basically a mechanism in which the smaller market teams get to share in some of the revenue that the bigger market teams create. Like the Yankees create money for the Marlins, and the Red Sox create money for the Pirates. You know what I'm saying? So it's all, you're not totally on equal footing, but it gives those smaller clubs a chance to keep themselves afloat while the bigger clubs continue to carry the sport as we know it.
Right. Now the executives are saying, no, it'll still trickle down. Don't worry about it. No way. You're in your own league. If you get kicked out of your domestic league, then how are those other clubs? They're not getting the money. And I want to bring up Emilio's point because that's important too.
Yeah, of course it does. Of course it does. But we're going to get to the TV rights in a second because I don't know if there's another network. I don't know if ESPN decides now, let's jump back into the soccer fray. Let's pay the premium to get these guys on TV. I don't know what happens with the network, but I do know I want to discuss this revenue sharing thing a little bit more. Big Dog, you had something. Go. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. No, so the sanctions, put it this way, in the next World Cup, if this league goes on, right, hypothetically,
right,
you won't see Cristiano Ronaldo for Portugal. There won't be Messi playing for Argentina. You won't see Harry Kane playing for England. You won't, and the United States, there won't be a Pulisic, no Weston McKennie, no Zach Steffen. There won't be Serginho Dest because they all play for top European clubs now. A lot of the young players that the United States has.
Right.
It hurt the United States national team as well.
Right.
And other teams in Europe, South America, all over the world, really. It would be a very decimated World Cup. Even Euro Cup this summer. If this goes like, they're going to be crappy tournaments because you're not going to see the best of the best really competing.
But here's another thing too, and I'm glad you mentioned that. This is where the television rights this is where television becomes interesting. Because even if these teams throw money at you, and even if they say, yo, here's whatever millions of dollars, do you seriously want to look at yourself and go, is this worth it for us? Because even if we pay top dollar and we still get top flight talent, at least for the foreseeable future, is this really worth it in the end when we don't know how long these players are going to be top flight? We don't know if all these things are going to continue to be the same. Because once these players hit the decline, how are you now going to get new players to say, okay, we're gonna have you leave your national teams to come play for us, unless the money's just going to continue to escalate amongst the 20 teams so that you can bring new blood in here. Here's the other thing too. If the players don't want to do this, the players are not going to have to form some sort. I don't know if there's a union per se, but you would have to think that there would have to be some sort of union to be able to delegate and say, hey, nah, don't do this because this will hurt your rights as a player to be able to play for the national team, or this will hurt your right to be able to move to the two other leagues. And what happens to the transfer deadline? Is there even a transfer deadline anymore?
It may not be. There
Wow.
may not be a transfer window.
I mean, wow. So it's basically you're stuck with whatever club you signed on with, and you can't leave if things go bad because you're not affiliated with no other club. How does this? How is that even fair to you as an organization?
And now even it's crazy too. Like the British government even want to get involved, and Prime Minister Boris Johnson talked today about basically say that like our British government's going to do everything that we can in our power to stop this from happening. We can't let this happen to our national sport. So this, like the government of the United Kingdom is like, they want to try and stop this. So even
I like how you hit. I like that, Kayla. There you go there.
And now will that trickle down? Will the Spanish government get involved? Will the Italian government get involved?
Once this, like Rick says, once these governments start to get involved with it, then that's when it's going to get even messier. Because then you got political proceedings and you got hearings and you got court documents and all this stuff is now going to become political. I feel like soccer is almost going to take a backseat to these countries almost fighting with each other to say, hey, nah, bruh, we have top dibs on all this, and we're gonna fight you tooth and nail every step of the way. This is unbelievable because now this creates literally a whole different issue outside of just soccer. This is unbelievable. Like the political ramification to this, it's almost like staggering.
Right.
And what type of money is this going to create for those countries? Does the government say, and should we get involved? But it's going to bring us like a gajillion euros. Should we even bother trying to stop it? Because it's going to bring the country more money. It's going to bring our television ratings more money. So do you really want to stop it? Or do you?
Not unless if players protest, fans protest, which they've already started doing and I've said and called in shows and
right.
Over in the UK and like I'm done with my club. If this goes through, I'm not rooting for Liverpool or Tottenham anymore or Man U anymore. And I believe they're serious. I mean, and it's
heartbreaking, man. I'm gonna be honest.
It's
heartbreaking.
And to bring it back to the US, 3 of the owners are American. The Red Sox owners also own Liverpool.
John Henry, yeah.
Yep, the Glazers, who own the Buccaneers, own Manchester United. Mm-hmm. And Dan Kroenke, who everyone's familiar with because of the Rams, he owns Arsenal. So, and they were quoted basically of really being confused and not understanding the whole promotion relegation system. Like they don't care about the history or nothing. They want to make their own thing. They want to Americanize it. That's why a lot of Europeans too are upset.
And what have I been saying? Can we go back to? Can we open this old can of worms if you allow me, big dog? Remember what I said? We don't care about soccer the way it used to be because we didn't create it. This is why I say things. Once we get involved, we're going to make it messy because we're going to make it our bottom line. We're going to, like you said, we're going to monopolize it. We're going to Americanize it. And you will know that we were here because we're going to create this whole system that only benefits us. Am I wrong in assuming that or saying that?
Say that again.
So am I wrong for saying that?
No, they definitely want to. They want to monopolize it, and like that, they want it to be a 20-team system, and then they want there to be like a playoffs after.
Right.
So they want to make it.
It's really unfortunate, man. It really is, because the fans get the short end of the stick. Like Emilio said, the European fans get the short end of the stick. Who love the sport, who love the history, who love all that, they get the short end.
Yep.
That's unfortunate. And that's who makes the revenue happen. That's who allows fans, or that those fans allow the sport to keep living. And when you spit in those fans' faces, it's like it really doesn't matter.
Right. And now Liverpool have they've driven ownership out before. Could they do it again? That's a big question too. Can fans drive these 6 owners in the
So I think Big Dog's freezing over there. So we didn't hear your last point.
You've been freezing too. The internet.
I don't know why the internet's crappy today, but it just it sucks.
So Kayla, what I'm saying is because of the American ownership, they want it, and it isn't just the American owners, but it's a big part of it. Just the way they want it, as Stefan, that's a good word, monopolize. They really care about. Also think about too, like Kroenke's a good example. Why did he move the Rams out of St. Louis? For more money. They also brought up the point, not that this would ever happen, but hypothetical, right? Let's say he decides, there's not much money here. Let's move Arsenal out of England. I mean, he's the owner. And what if that, right? Have you thought that? Like maybe teams might move out. Now, that's not really that likely, but it could, because in European
if they're willing to go that far, if they're willing to go as far as monopolizing the sport to benefit them, if they realize that fans aren't supporting their brands and they realize that moving it out could be beneficial to them, they'll move.
And another country, yeah.
Yeah, they'll move. They don't care how it affects you, because at the end of the day, it's about their bottom line. It only matters to them if it affects them on a personal basis. And these dudes, all they do is fly around in jets. They're richer than we'll ever see in 80 lifetimes. They don't care about the small fan who goes to games just to get away from the cares of the world. You think they care about that? No. Their whole thing is, how can we make it more Americanized? How can we monopolize it for us so that people see us and go, hey, well, it was never about you to begin with. It was always about us, but we made you feel good. And we basically patronized the fans and made them feel like they were important. Big Dog, because that's what this feels like to me. Am I wrong for saying that the fans should feel patronized for how they feel?
They should be extremely upset, rightfully so. I'm upset. I'm still trying to process the whole thing.
Yeah, but it's different though, bro. It's different when I'm not trying to own. See, maybe, but I don't think I would ever make it where it's not about how can I make sure that people can enjoy my product on another level. Like, because we all fell in love with some part of it. That's why we're all sitting on this live stream. We all love sports in some form or fashion. So for them to just summarily dismiss the fans, and what was the quote you had from a source that was off the record to a reporter? It's not about the fans right now. It's about us trying to figure out how to.
At secondary, he said. Yep.
That is unbelievable.
We don't know the executive, but it was from one of the 12 clubs.
That is unbelievable. The fact that those words even came out of the. Yeah. Yeah. And it goes back to another point too. This is why the NFL, this is why all these teams are going with these gambling leagues, are going with these fantasy leagues, because it's no longer about the love of the game. It's about how can we monopolize sports to so it always becomes a business. And this is why I'm going to say this. And Big Dog, we used to fight about it. We still fight about it. We still fight about it. But this is why I'm always going to take the reporter side, because I see how it works. These dudes think about themselves. You know how many stories I done reported where I tell Big Dog tidbits of stories and he goes, I mean, no, that's not true. And then he'll come, Big Dog, how many times have I told you things off the record? And then you go look for yourself and you go, oh crap, you were right. And I'm not saying that to be fun, like to be like toot my own horn at all. But this is why I've always felt like it's all about them. They don't, these owners don't understand fans. They don't understand what it's like to be a fan. That's why Steve Cohen, I like what he's starting to do, but I want to see if it continues. If he still has that side of him, or if it becomes a business like anything else. Because these dudes all think about their bottom lines. They do not, it does not matter to them who they hurt, who they affect, what happens to whatever. It doesn't matter, because they figure if we put a good team on the field, they'll come out and support us anyway. And most times they're right.
Crazy.
What do you like? Give me that side of it. As a fan, how would you be waking up this morning? If you're a fan, like you're a Tottenham fan, all right, let's get personal on this show. When you saw that they
And
were,
by the way, fired Jose Mourinho today too, which
well, they might have known something was coming, so they had to get his old ass out of here.
and we'll get to that more in a little bit, but
Nah, but I'm saying, like, as a fan of Tottenham, because you're a Tottenham fan, how are you feeling right now? How are you feeling today? How are you feeling last night? Take me through your emotions as a Tottenham fan. Forget about soccer. I'm talking about Tottenham, because they're one of the clubs that's in this new league. What are your thoughts? What are you feeling today?
Extremely disappointed, extremely frustrated. It's disgusting that the owner and a lot of clubs, I'll tell you my point of view, and this is the reason why, because when Kayla was asking me who should I root for when she was getting into soccer, I told her about Tottenham. And I always felt and had this fascination with them and always kind of drew to them more than, because, like, yes, Liverpool's a diehard fan base, or Man U, but, like, it's easy to root for them. Like, Tottenham, despite their troubles and they've really been, like, a successful club, like, you know, a lot of other English clubs, they haven't won the top league since the early 1960s, which goes to show you how, you know, little they've won.
Well, hot damn.
You know, they reminded me of the Jets. Haven't won since the 60s, but diehard fans always always sold out White Hart Lane, and that was the name of their old stadium. You know, it was always there, always had a very rabid fan base, always, you know, just very, very passionate fans, devoted fans, would, you know, stay till the end of the match, even if they were getting annihilated.
Right, yeah.
You know, and I was like, wow, it's like you know, I could relate because of the teams that I root for.
Right, yeah.
America.
Yeah.
But it's terrible to think that if that one executive said, oh, well, fans like second fiddle, we're not worried about that. How do you think Daniel, you know, now I'm thinking about the chairman and owner of Tottenham. Wow, does he really think like that after saying, and fans believe him, like, oh, we care about what's best for the fans and best for the club. You know, we want to win trophies.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently, if you're joining this league, and I haven't heard any quotes from him or anything from Tottenham that that opposes this idea, I'm not happy. And I'm sure many other Tottenham fans aren't happy either. And then it's like, well, do I root for them anymore? Do I boycott them? Do I not, until maybe this blows over, do I root for them again? Or do I go back? Like it's a very slippery slope. And you brought up an awesome point. How do you go back? Like if this falls through flat on its face, and a little stuff is essential for my right. Like Tottenham, you can relate as an Eagle fan or a Flyer fan or whatever. They kind of and plus their logo's a bird, so kind of related to the whole Eagle thing. But it's really it's awful. It's really awful, and for these fans, like. This is a line that's drawn, and they're talking about it again. I keep referencing them, but what they're talking about today on Sky Sports, like it's not a quote from somebody. It's not a civil war, but it's a nuclear war. Like you mentioned, the law is going to get involved with this. The courts, lawyers, and UEFA versus this league, and it's going to be a battle.
And this may create a situation where stadiums may not be safe. They might try to burn buildings down. Like if you don't want to play here, you ain't playing nowhere. We'll burn down your building, dude. You don't want to play for us, and you want to treat us like trash? Fine. We're gonna take everything that we hold dear, including this building, so you never have a chance to play for us and do us wrong again. This is almost what this feels like. And I know that sounds extreme, but Big Dog, you've said
I don't know if it would go that far, but I think things could possibly get violent in certain cities.
You've said to me, hockey is soccer is like religion to these people.
It is a religion, right? And it's do or die for them every Saturday or Sunday.
So think about
and we talked about it. Like we have so many options here for sports, and they have other sports. But let's face it, like soccer is number one for them.
Yes,
and nothing else. That's it.
Yes.
So,
and here's the thing: it's only going to get harder. The more and more you go through this, and the more and more you realize, damn, this is not just about how we feel as sport fans, but this is about us being selfish as a demographic and not taking into account how seriously these people take these sports. Like these people live and die with these matches. And for you to just strip that from them because they don't have other options like we have. Like if the Yankees suck, I could turn on the Knicks game. You know what I mean? Or if the Browns are playing terrible, I can watch some other football to just get my mind off the fact that my team is terrible. You know what I mean? They don't have that option. They sing when their team is getting annihilated. They dance. They're joyful. They're gleeful. And for you to just rip that away for your own selfish game.
And even the smallest talents in these countries, they look forward to traveling to Manchester or London or Liverpool. They look forward to possibly, could we beat them this week or could we draw with them this week? Or, they live on that atmosphere and they look forward to these games. And that's really like their life. It's almost like a Kansas City, if you think about like that's really all they have.
It's almost Duke NC or college type atmospheres like you were mentioning before off the air. Bruh, how do you just strip that away from these fans? How do you strip it away? You know what I'm saying? Am I wrong for equating it to a college team? Because it's almost like this is what it feels.
You're correct.
This is really incredible. and I don't even follow soccer, but it breaks my heart as a fan, as somebody who watches this guy obsess about his teams, and he watches everything, and it breaks my heart for him because I'm like, this sucks.
And more than any other sport, and I'm not trying to offend anybody or like, but soccer is that one sport where fans just they are. I mean, fans matter in all sports, but there's something different about soccer in Europe that's just on a completely like different level than sports here. Like I said, I equated it to college sports. Like it's just a very ritualistic type thing. And of course, I watch the Islanders religiously. You watch the Knicks and the Yankees, or people watch, like Kayla watches the Eagles,
Yeah.
And fandom is big, especially in Philly.
Right.
But European soccer, and I'm lucky enough I've gone to games in England and Italy, Spain. It's just
excuse me.
You're good. Yeah.
Getting old, man. That's
the love for their sport is just.
I'm getting old, man. That sneeze actually hurt. I'm getting old.
Oh, me too, Kayla. I was like,
oh. But they fired him because they knew this was coming. They're like, we got to get rid of the old geezer. They won't let us in this league if he's still here.
And now, but it's interesting, like Jurgen Klopp spoke out against it publicly. But even he said it, he goes, it doesn't matter what I say, which I thought, like, really? Because he's a very polarizing figure, Jurgen Klopp. If him and players keep speaking out against it, again, I know what he means. Like, the owners are still going to do what they're going to do, but the owners, I mean, the coach, the players, the fans can still have a big part in this to try to fight against this from happening. You know what, too, I thought about the hiring? Maybe they did it, too, to try and keep Harry Kane from leaving. Like, hey, we fired Mourinho. Don't leave.
Yeah, bro. Nah, bro. The sneezes be real.
You don't have it. It happens to me when you get older. It's
the sneezes be real, bro. You
throw the back out with a sneeze. It's dangerous.
Yeah, man. You sneeze the wrong way, brother. You stuck in that position for a couple hours. That's real, bro. You be
And even another thing too, and like it was hard to even because I was talking to Stefan off the air and about how I got into soccer, and he knows the story, but I told him before. But
right,
like if it wasn't for the World Cup, like I may not have been gotten into soccer. Like that 2006 Italy-France final, like I watched it and I picked up a soccer ball right away, and I'm like, this is amazing. And then I did the research. I studied about the teams, players, history, all that good stuff. Yep. And now, like, the World Cup might actually be affected negatively. The Euro Cup that I love almost as equally, maybe as equally as the World Cup, and just club soccer and just
like
everything.
You got to understand, this dude plans his day around all this stuff. Like, it's real. I call him Big Dog. What are you doing now? Well, I got to watch this game at this time and this game at this time.
I planned it out and
but we're gonna get to some baseball stuff in a second, because Big Dog has a message for all you Yankee fans who don't understand how to be patient. But listen, I just want to say this. I love you guys for being a part of this conversation. We're 49 minutes into the show.
I appreciate it too, because this was a top. I know we normally don't talk soccer, but this this is a big sports story in general, not just soccer.
We're 49 minutes into this show, and I've thoroughly enjoyed every second of this. And I do not watch soccer, but let me preface my comments by saying I'm thankful for this dude every day. And like I said, we can get personal on the show. So I'm thankful for him every day because he's allowed me to open up my horizons, see things from a different point of view. I'm not a diehard soccer fan like he is, or that Kayla's becoming, or some other people that we've spoken to on this show. But I can completely empathize with his pain and his anguish, knowing that the sport, one of the sports that he cherishes, is being ripped away from him as he knew it for somebody's own selfish personal gain. It's heartbreaking to me to sit here on this stream with this dude, and all he wants is for sports to be equal for everyone to love. And when you see when he hears cynical people like me, he goes, "Damn, why are you so cynical?" And this right here is the reason why. This stuff like this, because you realize, damn, it's not about how fans should feel. It's about how much richer I'm going to get and how much more money I'm going to make. There's nothing else that applies to this other than greed and selfishness. And Big Dog, it drives him crazy when I speak about this stuff. But this is kind of the reason why I'm heartbroken for this dude. Like it makes me seriously want to yo, go over there and just it's gonna be all right, man. Like that hurt.
Even when I travel, like the last trip I went on, I planned out each day. Like I wanted to see. I was lucky enough to go see a game, and then in 2 other countries, I did. What's up? I did like stadium tours, but I planned my day around it. And like Evan said, like I would plan like, all right, what am I do? What time's the game? Or what time do I gotta wake up? And I'll tell stories too during the World Cups, because of course USA is my number 1 team, but also I'm a big fan of the German team. And me and a friend of mine back in the day, we found this German place to watch the games, and it was fun. People were, singing the whole time. They had a big projector screen, the whole works.
Right, yeah.
It was a good time. And we would plan, all right, sometimes we get up mad early to catch this before I drove. So he'd meet me at my house. We take the bus all the way, like a good 45, 50-minute bus ride to the place, walk there, get there at least a couple hours before time so we could get a spot in the place to stand and watch the game. Like, dog. And I bring my flag with me. I bring my I wear a scarf. It was like 80 degrees out. I would still have my Germany scarf, or I'd have, like the World Cup too. I got there like 2 hours before kickoff just to stand. And I had to squeeze in.
Beautiful, man. That's that. Ugh. This is beautiful, man, and I can relate. I've been. I've. When my teams are in the playoffs, and I'm. You're in the moment and you're just loving it. Like you playing your whole. Like this guy knows how I get for playoff baseball. I get up early in the morning. I read all the scouting reports. I read all the stories I'm gonna read. I go through it like I'm managing the game. Like it's real. Like I gotta be locked in, ready to go. If the game's at 8, I don't want to talk to nobody.
That's true. I would used to do it. So, like, all right, what's the starting 11 going to be?
And you go through it and sitting. Yeah, and you really start to prepare your mind to go through the torture you're going to go through.
And I played the sport too and loved it. I missed it. I haven't played in a long time.
Right.
Yeah, it was.
See, this is what you're taking away. If anybody from the Super League watches this show, look at this poor soul. This is what you're ripping away from him. And for what? Your greed? That's just.
And I'm looking at the soccer stuff I got in my room, which is a lot of stuff.
Unfathomable to me.
I collected from my travels and stuff.
Wow. It's unfathomable to me that you are ripping apart what this guy grew up with. His love of the game is being torn apart for your own personal selfish greed. that is, I can't even fathom that. That type of pain, I can't even fathom, because that's like, I don't mean to equate it like this will never happen, but it's like telling me, yo, we're taking the Knicks out of the NBA and we're starting this new league, and we're gonna make the Knicks a part of the one of the key pieces, and we're starting the Super League where we're taking only the Chicagos and the LAs and out of the NBA, and I'd be what? I'd be destroyed. I can't even fathom. And this dude follows everything when it comes to soccer. Who's getting fired? Who's getting hired? You're murdering. And look, he's not even from there. So imagine those people that are from there, that go through this every day. What? How do you do that? How do you just rip something so integral from a person's daily life and say, "Oh, it's okay. It's okay."
And you know me, I've been an advocate for making soccer. I would love to grow soccer in this country, make it bigger. This is only going to make it harder.
You're right.
And you already had dedicated fans, like the story I told you, like get up early, go travel to the place to watch a game, or get up at the ass crack of the morning and turn the pot of coffee on and watch whatever team's up, like, and people do it.
And people do it. I remember I did it for the WBC. I was getting up. Remember, bro, when the WBC happened in 2017, I was going to bed at 8:30 at night.
Yeah, that's
fathom that, folks.
That's
8:30 at night to get up at what time, big dog? First
4:30, something like that in the morning.
Until 4:30, and I was up at 4:30 watching.
Right, they were playing in Japan first.
Yeah, Chinese Taipei in Japan, and I was up loving it. They were singing in the stands, and my mother goes, "What are you up early for?" Look at the screen, okay? I need these next few hours just to be alone with my thoughts, and I loved it. And I'm like, hey, you're killing it. You're murdering the integrity of sports for greed. Jeez. Thank you guys for listening to us rant and rave and hearing this poor soul just tell you what he feels from deep inside of his gut for an hour. We talk soccer, big dog, for 58 minutes and 12 seconds.
I just want to let you know you're the best.
All right, this is big for us over here. Yeah, you're making an impact.
See, I'm spreading the word, man. I'm trying to get everyone on the Tottenham train. Although now, I don't know. We'll have to see. And Gunling's point, because I know, and I told Kayla to start listening to Caught Offside, because shout out to Andrew Gunling, by the way, and JJ Devaney too. It's an awesome podcast. But Gunling is from Philly, and if Eagles fan too, and Tottenham fan, so I knew Kayla would kind of enjoy that aspect. That when she listened to it, she's like, "Yeah, I could tell he gets it. He's he knows the suffering."
I mean, we laugh and joke, but that's real.
He said he's like, it'll be really hard for me to I will probably still he's like, right now my emotions are, it's hard to really say would I leave Tottenham. He's like, I put so much time and energy and effort into rooting for this team, and it's people say, "Oh, sports, it's just a game. It's just, it's not, that could happen. That'll be all right.
Oh man,
so much and like that. Sports, it's a part of us. Our
Right,
teams
right.
are, we mean that.
Yeah.
Like our blood is like our team's colors. Like we just love them to death, and it's it's hard to just.
Bro, yo, you should have seen me during the Knicks game last night. Hyperventilate.
I believe it.
Bullock hits the three. I'm hypervent. Ask Mike.
That was me with the Islanders too last night.
Ask Mike when you see Mike. Mike was here watching the last maybe couple minutes with me. Yo, I'm sitting there hyperventilating last night, going bonkers, bro. Hey.
What's up, Pat?
Hey. I see you. Let's go Celtics. By the way, the Celtics won 6 in a row. I gotta dive. We're gonna dive into the Celtics and Nah, seriously, quick poll. Y'all comment if you're getting. That'll really be cool though.
Tidbits too.
Nah, so you Kayla riding with him.
Yeah.
Respect. No, but the Celtics, they found their way back. I believe they're in 5th place in the Eastern Conference. They're a game and a half back of 4th. They're red hot. They won. I think they've won 6 in a row. They beat Golden State in a great game the other night. Jason Tatum at 42, Steph Curry at 49, and they both went off. 47 Steph Curry had, but Boston's starting to get it together. And the two teams that intrigue me the most right now is see, Ray was going crazy. The things that intrigue me the most, and I agree, Kayla. It feels like you don't have a choice. I would feel the same way if I rooted as hard. I mean, as much as Big Dog and you have rooted for Tottenham, I feel like I feel like I'm just being thrown aside, like I don't matter and my choice doesn't matter. I feel you on that, and look, it's hard when the owners and the team the people that run your team don't give you a choice. Like, you think I like the fact that Jim Dolan owns the Knicks? Hell no. Do I have a choice in what happens with the organization at the top levels? No, but I support them because I'm a Knicks fan, and unfortunately, they scarred me to the point that if I leave and they win one, I'll never be able to forgive myself for leaving. So you live with it and you suffer through and you figure out a way to make it work for you. I can't, you know what I'm saying? It's hard.
You can't just.
It's hard. Like when the Knicks won yesterday, and I'm sitting there thinking about, oh my God, can you imagine, bro? They're game out of 4th place in the Eastern Conference. If the Knicks get to 4th and host a home playoff game at Madison Square Garden, I give a limb off my body to be in the building. A limb. You want a finger? Here, you can have it. That is how much of a suffering Knicks fans are. And people are like, oh, that's going too far. I'm like, bro, you don't understand, bro. Like being around my brothers, being around my dad, watching them go crazy. It's just.
It's a family thing too with certain things. That's like you suffer together.
You're stuck now. You're stuck. Oh, therapy session.
Yeah, like the Jets. I hate ownership, but
you're stuck because you're gonna be like Bobby Cannavale. If you leave, they'll win a chip.
Oh my God. That interview made me laugh so much. Oh,
no, but the Celtics. The Celtics are interesting because if they get healthy with Kemba Walker and Jason Tatum and everybody they got in Boston, they're going to be a fascinating case study on how we look at the rest of the Eastern Conference. Because if Boston is healthy, they definitely going to be a tough out for somebody. But also, to be honest with you, and I'm not being a homer when I say this, I kind of like the Knicks where they are right now. Do I think the Knicks can, sustain this and do anything significant in the playoffs? No, I do not. I'm being realistic in saying that, but it felt good. It feels good knowing that your organization is somewhat competent, and you know what? They can have them here. They can build me prosthetics that might actually work better. But you know what I'm saying? It's those kind of things, man, where you're just like, damn. I mean, I don't think the Knicks win a playoff series, but I'm gonna be honest. I think it's fun having an organization that's competent. Like Big Dog, that's what I think you want to see with the Jets. Like, it's just show me some competency.
I miss so badly looking forward to the Jets. I miss it so bad. Like when me and this guy could talk football and like I can actually be positive about, not that there's been many positive Jet moments, but like that 15 season,
right?
It was exciting as hell, and then it all fell apart. But you were looking forward every week,
right? Yeah,
and it's like,
how does this change your viewing for Saturday now? What happened Saturday? Like, if Tottenham moves, like, and they become part of this league, like, how are you approaching the fandom side now?
I don't know, to be honest. It's hard.
Nah, but I think the Knicks will get in. I think the Knicks will stay. Hopefully, they stay above the 6, and we make things interesting come July and like late June, early July, and make the playoffs interesting. And Knicks fans, do me a favor. I'm going to say this on the show. Do me a favor. If I see somebody superimpose Zion Williams' body in a Knicks jersey, I'm blocking the next 4 people I can do this.
Oh, Stephen A. was so depressed today, I heard on First Take. Like the Knicks have him. It's not fair.
You want to start with him again? You want me to start with him again?
Didn't you rant about him last week?
Jesus.
I mean, you could do it again if you want.
Now all of a sudden you care. Now all of a sudden he cares.
All hands in the face. Oh, Zion. Oh, my God. Acting like a Knicks fan.
But who won the game? So shut up.
Mm-hmm.
Julius Randle had him on smash. Can we stop being sensitive like you care all of a sudden? Come on, man. Enough. And then I'm sorry, but Zion, how many years have we seen people do this to the Knicks where they flirt with the Knicks? Oh, this player might be coming to the Knicks. This player might be coming to the Knicks, coming to the Knicks, coming to the Knicks. Have we not learned? Have you not learned?
Sounds like the Jets, too.
Jesus, yeah. Coming to the Knicks, coming to the Knicks, coming to the Knicks. LeBron, this one, that KD, the Kyrie, the Red. Stop. Stop this. I know how the movie ends. Eject the tape. Stop. Just eject. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Say that again, Kayla. Say that again for the masses that didn't hear you. The 90th. Thank you. Dang it. Thank you. Like, stop with the coming to the Knicks, going in. Stop. Stop yourself. You're better than that. Because he was cheesing. Oh, it's my favorite arena to play in. I love this arena. Oh my God, Madison Square Garden. But LeBron loved the arena.
Superstar says that.
LeBron loved the arena. Loves the arena. Never played for the Knicks in his life. Kobe loved the arena. Never wanted to play for the Knicks in his life.
Every time he played there. Jordan.
Loved the arena. Loved the acoustics. Loved the rim. Never wanted to play for the Knicks in his life. Never, ever in the history of his life did he say.
I'm sure Allen Iverson too said that.
Yeah. Oh. I remember when we were recording. I forgot who we were. Oh, D Wade. Oh, best arena in the world, New York City.
Yo, they just love to fuck with Knicks fans. I'm so they just do because they know they're gonna fall for it.
Yeah,
Every time.
yeah.
Watch there be a Zion billboard in the next couple.
Right in front of the guard.
Yeah, with the Knick jersey, with the smile. Yeah, it'll happen.
All my favorite arena to play in. New York, New York, New York, New York.
Up with this.
And then next thing you know, oh, Zion headed to the Clippers, Spurs Knicks in free. Can you not? Can you not?
And what they should be under it is.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Listen, we'll pay. Just pay us a fee. You can use it. You can use it. Just pay us a fee, a licensing fee. Excuse me. You want a licensing fee for what, sir? Just pay us a fee. Three Clips Media will gladly let you use the slogan if you pay us a licensing fee. I mean, for the love of look, this boy sold me. You know. You, Emilio, you all know. He was cheesing last night. This feels different. Stop. And even if by some miracle of God you can get him, you still got to wait till 2023, 2024. Stop yourself. Stop. It's not healthy to fantasize this. Don't do this. I beg of you, if you're a Knicks fan and you're watching this show, it was nice to show you that he cares about the Garden. But how many other superstars care about the Garden? The sanctity of the Garden, playing in Madison Square Garden. They don't care for the Knicks. They don't care. You know why? Because there's scrutiny that comes with playing with the Knicks. There's blame that comes with playing with the Knicks. You suck with the Knicks, you're going to get murdered. Melo still has the PTSD scars from being murdered by this fan base. He wanted nowhere near coming back here. He was like, man, they're interested in me now. I stay in Portland and just chill in my humble abode with nobody bugging me where I can just play ball. I'm too old. For the love of God. Like, can we stop with this? Have you not learned? Knicks fans? They want to use you. You're like the bait. You never seen the fish on the hook? You're like the bait and fish when they let's use the Knicks for some bait. No, they were never coming to you. Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? She just asked the question that I've been asking myself for 20 years. So who wants to play? Speaking of asking yourself questions, so let me preface my comments by saying, Brian Cashman, I appreciate you, fam. I appreciate you trying to put lipstick on a pig. I appreciate you. But quite frankly, your team, the Yankees, they suck right now. They suck. There's no other way to say it. They're just horrible right now. And I know Big Dog has some words of wisdom for Yankee fans that he's going to share in a second. But you suck right now.
Probably not going to listen to me, but that's all right.
You're horrid. Second most outs on the bases. They're just terrible. They're 5-10 on the season, last in slugging, last in OPS, just last in everything. They even last in being last. Big Dog, go ahead. Thank you.
They're horrible right now. But remember who you root for. Yankee fans. You are a fan of the New York Yankees, the most richest and successful team in Major League Baseball.
Not anymore. That technically goes to you now.
Oh, yeah.
The richest part, at least. The richest part, at least.
All right, second richest.
Third richest, because the Dodgers were richest.
All right, so forget all that. You're the most successful team historically. You've been over 500 for 40 straight years.
Not 40.
You've won like 11 division titles.
Not 40. Hold on. Whoa.
5 World Series, at least in our lifetime. You've been to 7 World Series. You're going to win the division. You're going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't know. Hey, I don't know about that.
Can Yankee?
It's true. They're last at me last right now.
Like it is, it's funny to hear Yankee fans complain, but it's also very annoying. It's like, yo, you guys get everything. Like, can just not complain. Stop complaining. You know you guys always suck in April, but you know you're going to go on like a 15, 20 game winning streak at some point. You're going to rack up wins. You're going to go up in the standings. Then, oh, man, we're the best team again. Yeah, well, what? Like, it just, you know it's going to get better. Just stop fucking complaining and just enjoy. Enjoy being a friggin' Yankee fan, like the spoiled friggin' brat you are, and just stop complaining. Stop complaining. Being a Yankee fan, like it just, to me, it don't compute up here. It don't. How do you complain if you're a Yankee fan? Shouldn't. Those 2 words shouldn't even be in the same sentence. Just enjoy your success. Oh, yeah, I'm sure you guys are going to get way more into this in depth tomorrow in terms of their play. But, like, because I usually scream and I'm just not, like, just stop. Just be happy. Thank your lucky stars you root for the Yankees. Before you go to bed every night, look up to the big guy and go, thank you for making me a fan of this team. And that's it. You know you're going to be there. You got a gazillion championships. I get you want to win another one, but, you know, what was it, 10 years ago now? 11, 12, that's not that long. Try 30, 35, 40, 50, 108 years like the Cubs. Just stop. That's all I got. Just stop. Please. Acting like the fucking apocalypse is coming and the world's ending. It's not. I've said my case, and I'm sick of talking about them.
He's done. All right. Said all he can say about the situation. As for me, I see it differently. I'm not, because I don't care about making the playoffs. I don't care about winning the division. I don't care about any of that. All that is nonsensical to me at this point. This team right now, is just not good enough. Even if they make the playoffs, you're not good enough. You're not doing anything in the playoffs. They don't have the type of team that you look at and go, I'm afraid to play them, or they're going to present challenges for me, or they're going to make me feel as though I have to worry about playing them in a 7-game series. I'm sorry. This team, to me, what I would actually like to see happen, and I'm going to say this for public consumption, and then if I'm wrong at the end of the year, you guys can, reference this show back and we can discuss it. I kind of want, what I would want is for the Yankees to miss the playoffs entirely. This is what I would want. I'd want them to miss the playoffs entirely, so there's no anonymity in saying we have to blow this up. We have to get rid of half the players on this team. Half the players on this team have to go. You can't do nothing about Giancarlo Stanton, so I'll give you that. But Aaron Judge, you got to go. And even if I got to cut you, I'm cutting you because I ain't paying you no money. Gleyber Torres, you're not a shortstop. You got to go. DJ is going to be at second, so that's just how it's going to be. it feels like to me this team needs to be retooled. And the way they are right now, they don't seem really athletic. They don't give you enough to make you realize and go, this team's gonna they'll turn it around offensively because it's a long season and they're gonna hit bad pitching. I get that, but put them in a playoff situation. You see what Tampa did to them last year. Tampa outplayed them in every facet of the game: base running, pitching, defense, clutch hitting, RBI. They were better. They were better at everything, and they're proving to be better at everything again. So when you rely on the home run as much as they do, you're going to get a club that is not as diverse as it should be. And that's my biggest fear. It's not that they're not going to make the playoffs, so they won't find their footing. They'll find their footing. But I look at what's going to happen in October. The moment you face good starting pitching and the moment you have to actually put a couple of hits together and you got to string of bats together, this club can't do that. This club's not built for it. Outside of DJ LeMahieu and maybe Gio Urshela, they're all sluggers. They all hit home runs. This is what they do. They're a home run hitting club. They don't do anything else really. And if you want to debate me and tell me I'm wrong, then you can. But I'm just telling you what I see from them on a nightly basis. Do I think they'll turn it around and they'll get competitive in the American League? Sure, I think they will. But to me, it doesn't matter if in the playoffs you're going to keep running into the same issues year after year. And then Gleyber Torres at shortstop doesn't give me that peaceful, easy feeling, to quote the famous Eagles. He doesn't make me He doesn't give me that feeling of a ball's going to go to him at shortstop and I'm going to be able to relax. No, I clinch. I get afraid. He's going to AML the first baseman. He's going to hit somebody in the 15th row. Not a peaceful, easy feeling watching Gleyber play shortstop. Not at all. So, I mean, we can sit here and debate it. Big Dog has his point. I have mine, and we'll see who wins out. But that press conference by Brian Cashman, I understand why he did it, but it was almost a joke at this point in time. Like, really, bro? I didn't need to hear that. What I need you to come out in the media, they'll be fine. They'll be okay. Well, yeah, we know that.
Yeah, he said all the right things. What else do you got to say?
He's going to say that because he built the club. What I would say is that we suck, and it starts with me. Say that. Take some accountability for the fact that you paid Corey Kluber $11 million. Say something for the fact that you traded for Jameson Taillon, who might still be solid. Say something for the fact that you brought Rougned. Jay Bruce sucks so bad he retired. He retired.
He was 90.
But
just be happy, man.
No. Thank you, Ray. One-dimensional. Thank you. This is what they are. They're one-trick pony. They don't scare me. They don't make me go, oh, we might hit and run right here. Because if you steal a base and you get thrown out, oh, you took the bat out of the judge's hand. You took the bat out of Dayton's hand. You took the bat out of this guy's hand, that guy's hand. Enough. But I complain and I confetch and I bitch, but 7:07 tomorrow.
What?
7:07 tomorrow. Where am I going to be? Right there.
Islanders Rangers tomorrow, by the way.
Oh!
Babu.
Light up. Oh!
Big win last night. Almost killed me, but.
Yeah. He called me in the middle of a manic.
That own goal, though, I'll take it in overtime.
You called me in the middle of a manic episode. You were like, help me get through this.
Help.
Oh, man. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we get on out of here, man?
Just a couple of hockey things, and then we can bounce. First of all, very big news. Patrick Marleau will pass Gordie Howe for most games played in NHL history.
Well,
Patty.
God damn. A lot of tread on those kneecaps.
Yeah.
lot of tread on those
This
knees.
will be his 1,768th game.
Well, God.
He's wearing special gloves tonight. Now, I don't know. He probably won't wear them during the game, but during warm-ups, they're all black with gold lettering that have CCM, which is the brand he uses. They also have 3 logos in gold of the teams he's played with. Yeah, they're pretty bad. So he's got the Maple Leaf logo, Penguins, and Sharks logo, all in gold, and the lettering that says most games played in NHL history in gold. That's pretty sick. After the show, I'll send you a picture of it. They're really, but congrats to him. One of the good guys in the league. Just a great player. Definitely a first ballot Hall of Famer.
No doubt.
No doubt about it. Last night, Vancouver played their first game since coming back from the COVID outbreak. They beat the Maple Leafs 3-2 in overtime. Maple Leafs, I don't know. You get so much hype and so much attention for being, with the Maple Leafs. Oh, my God, what an amazing trade deadline. You play a team that hasn't played in weeks, and you lose.
Wow.
Lose. And the goals your goalie gave up last night, oh, my God. Terrible.
Wow.
Kyle Okposo out for season after being hit in the face by a puck. Hope he gets better. Around, yeah.
Ooh.
That gives you the willies, right? It just getting hit in the eye, not good.
Ooh.
The Colorado Avalanche have 3 games postponed after third player enters COVID-19 protocols. We hope they get well soon. So we're still dealing with it in all the sports. So still got to be careful out there. Wear your masks.
Definitely. Anyway, that's going to wrap us up. This was fun, man.
Yes, this was a blast.
Thank you guys for commenting. Thank you guys for being a part of this ride with us. Share the show. Tell people you know about us. We went through this whole soccer. We broke everything down from you, and we got personal, we got emotional, and we got real on the show today. So.
And there's definitely more news to come on this topic, so be on the lookout.
This might span a couple of shows. So if you watch today's show, you might want to watch Thursday and see what else comes out and see what else transpires. And this should be a very interesting topic for the days, weeks, and months ahead. Big Dog, thank you for being so transparent. Thank you for telling those great stories. We appreciate it.
You got it.
We will see you guys again on Thursday. Thank you, Big Ray. We appreciate it. And Thursday, back and better than ever, 6 p.m.